Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'i amma ba'du. Alhamdulillah, segala puji bagi Allah, Tuhan semesta alam, zat yang hanya kepadanya lah kita dan seluruh makhluk di muka bumi ini bersujud. Tak lupa sholawat serta salam senantiasa kita curahkan kepada junjungan kita, Nabi besar Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Selamat datang kepada Akang Teteh, Bapak Ibu, jamaah yang hadir pada hari ini dalam acara talk show dan diskusi buku Dari of Genocide, sebuah kisah dari Jantung Palestina bersama Bapak Atef Abu Saif dan Bapak Sansan Ziaul Haq yang diselenggarakan oleh Bidang Pengkajian dan Penerbitan YPM Salman ITB bersama Mizan Publishing, Naura Books, dan Wakaf Salman ITB. Saya Raufa Saida Adila, insya Allah akan membersamai Bapak Ibu sekalian dalam kegiatan pada pagi hari ini sebagai MC hingga akhir acara nanti. Sebelum saya ingin bertanya, bagaimana kabarnya hari ini? Alhamdulillah baik ya, alhamdulillah masih semangat dan semoga masih membawa semangat yang sama untuk membela saudara-saudara kita di tanah Palestina, dan dengan frekuensi yang sama gitu, dengan semangat yang sama, kehadiran Bapak Ibu di sini pastinya gitu ya untuk kembali meningkatkan kesadaran dan juga ruh pembelaan tersebut. Dan alhamdulillah di pagi hari yang cerah ini kita akan menyaksikan sama-sama dan juga berdiskusi bersama dalam diskusi buku Dari of Genocide ini. Untuk bukunya sendiri, Bapak Ibu, Akang Teteh dapat memperolehnya dengan membelinya di stand buku yang ada di meja registrasi gitu, yang disediakan oleh penerbit Mizan dan Naura. Di situ ada buku Dari of Genocide yang bisa dibeli, sekaligus buku-buku lainnya dari penerbit Mizan maupun penerbit Naura. Nanti di sela-sela atau misalnya setelah acara gitu ya, bisa banget untuk dibeli langsung. Dan ya agar lebih mendalami lagi ya isi bukunya bagi yang belum punya. Baik, untuk memulai kegiatan kita pada pagi hari ini agar lebih berkah tentunya, marilah kita sama-sama meluruskan niat dan mengucapkan lafaz basmalah bersama-sama. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dan dilanjutkan pembacaan ayat suci Al-Quran oleh Saudara Muhammad Azinul Haq. Kepada Saudara Azin, kami persilakan.
Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Insyaallah akan dibacakan Al-Quran surat Al-Anfal ayat ke-8, surat ke-8 ayat mulai dari ayat 15. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu idza laqitumul ladzina kafaru zahfa فلا تولوهم الأدبار ومن يولهم يومئذ دبره إلا متحرفا لقتال أو متحيزا إلى فئة فقد باء بغضب من الله ومأواه جهنم وبئس المصير فلم تقتلوهم ولكن الله قتلهم وما رميت إذ رميت ولكن الله رمى وليبلي المؤمنين منه بلاء حسنا إن الله سميع عليم ذلكم وأن الله موهن كيد الكافرين إن تستفتحوا فقد جاءكم الفتح وإن تنتهوا فهو خير لكم وإن تعودوا نعد ولن تغني عنكم فئتكم شيئا ولو كثرت وأن الله مع المؤمنين صدق الله العظيم. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih banyak untuk Saudara Muhammad Azinul Haq yang sudah membacakan ayat suci Al-Quran. Semoga baik yang mendengarkan, baik yang membaca maupun yang mendengarkan sama-sama mendapatkan keberkahan dari Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Selanjutnya kita akan sama-sama mendengarkan sambutan dari YPM Salman ITB yang akan diberikan oleh Direktur Eksekutif YPM Salman ITB, Bapak Salim Rusli. Kepada Bapak Salim Rusli kami persilakan.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, hamdan katsiran thayyiban mubarakan fih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah la haula wala quwata illa billahi aliyil azim. Allahumma shalli ala sayidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayidina Muhammad. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran ahli. Pertama-tama kami mengucapkan selamat datang, welcome to Masjid Salman ITB, Brother Mr. Atef Abu Saif. Ya. Alhamdulillah pada pagi hari ini kita bisa bersama-sama beliau untuk berdiskusi ya, membahas satu buku ya, yang sampai sekarang saya rasa isunya terus hangat ya, apalagi sejak 7 Oktober 2023 yang lalu ya. Kekejaman dan agresi penjajah Israel terhadap saudara-saudara kita di Palestina bukannya berkurang malah semakin bertambah gitu ya. Saya mewakili YPM Salman ITB berharap buku ini ya bukan hanya dibahas sekali ini saja ya, tetapi bisa terus-menerus diwacanakan ya bersama-sama dengan suara-suara lain maupun kajian-kajian lain tentang Palestina yang semoga terus menghangatkan ya isu ini dan bisa terus mengingatkan kita di Indonesia tentang perjuangan saudara-saudara kita di Palestina. Sebagai informasi juga Bapak Ibu sekalian, insya Allah YPM Salman ITB bekerja sama juga nanti dengan Mercy akan mengadakan satu event Bandung Walk for Gaza ya. Insya Allah tanggal 3 November nanti yang tujuannya juga untuk menggalang dana terutama untuk membangun ulang to rebuild Indonesian hospital in Gaza ya. Jadi kami insya Allah dari YPM Salman ITB senantiasa mendukung dan akan selalu berupaya memberikan apa yang bisa kita bantu bagi saudara-saudara kita di Palestina terutama dalam bukan hanya dalam berbentuk bantuan material tapi juga sifatnya pewacanaan ya, bagaimana menghidupkan terus isu-isu dan kajian memberitahukan kepada masyarakat luas tentang apa yang terjadi di Palestina, terutama dari perspektif langsung saudara-saudara kita di Palestina seperti yang akan disampaikan hari ini oleh Brother Atef insyaallah bersama nanti Kang Sansan ya. Mungkin itu saja yang bisa saya sampaikan karena waktu juga terbatas. Mudah-mudahan diskusi buku ini bisa hangat ya, ada diskusi tanya jawab interaktif. Dan apa yang kita lakukan pada pagi hari ini bisa menjadi bagian dari amal soleh kita semua, meraih ridho dari Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih banyak untuk Bapak Salim yang sudah memberikan sambutan yang luar biasa pada pagi hari ini. Selanjutnya kita akan memasuki sesi yang ditunggu-tunggu oleh Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tapi sebelum itu boleh Bapak Ibu yang depannya masih kosong silahkan diisi terlebih dahulu. Ibu-ibu mungkin silahkan diisi terlebih dahulu yang paling depan gitu ya, biar semakin dapat banget gitu ya dari diskusi nanti. Boleh pindah dulu ke depan silahkan. Bapak-bapak masih bisa diisi? Baik, silakan dan dipersiapkan dengan baik. Nah, sebelum masuk ke sesi yang ditunggu-tunggu, insya Allah kita akan ada sambutan terlebih dahulu lagi gitu ya, dari perwakilan penerbit Mizan, yaitu Mbak Sri Mutia. Kepada Mbak Sri Mutia kami persilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Karena tamu kita tidak bisa berbahasa Indonesia, jadi saya akan sedikit campur dengan bahasa Inggris untuk sambutan di pagi hari ini. Saya mengucapkan selamat datang terlebih dahulu kepada seluruh hadirin. Terima kasih sudah menghadiri acara yang diselenggarakan oleh Nora dan penerbit Mizan. Honorable Mr. Atef Abu Saif, distinguished writer and political scholar from Palestine, honorable event organizer, colleagues from Masjid Salman ITB, respected attendees both present here and those joining us online. All praise and gratitude be to Allah Subhanahu wa taala for his blessing and grace, allowing us to gather today for a very important event, the discussion and talk show of the book A Diary of Genocide, a story from the heart of Palestine with Atef Abu Saif. We at Mizan are honored to be part of this event and to support its organization. First, we would like to express our highest appreciation to Atef Abu Saif for his willingness to come to Indonesia to share his stories, insights, and perspective on Palestine. As a writer, editor, and political scholar, Atef Abu Saif has played a significant role in advocating the narrative and voice of the Palestinian people on the international stage. Through his book, A Diary of Genocide, he brings us closer to understanding the reality happening in the land of Palestine, a story filled with pain, hope, and struggle. Today's event is a part of a series that will take place in 3 major cities in Indonesia. Jadi setelah sekarang kita akan mengadakan acara yang sama di Jakarta Library on October 23rd, di Masjid Istiqlal on October 24th, and finally Atef Abu Saif will appear at Ubud Writers and Readers Festival 2024 in Bali. Itu di Oktober 26 sampai 27. We hope that his presence in these 3 major cities will have a positive impact in raising our awareness of the humanitarian issues faced by our brothers and sisters in Palestine. As a publisher, Mizan has long been committed to bringing forth works that not only enlighten but also carry a mission of humanity and justice. Works about Palestine hold a special place in this commitment. We believe that books like A Diary of Genocide play a crucial role in building a deeper understanding of the situation in Palestine and nurturing empathy and solidarity for the Palestinian people's struggle. We also express our appreciation to all parties who have helped us organize this event, from Masjid Salman ITB in Bandung, Jakarta Library, Masjid Istiqlal, and Ubud Writers and Readers Festival in Bali. This event has come to fruition thanks to strong collaboration from various parties. Through this discussion, our hope is that we all become more aware that the struggle for freedom and human rights is not the responsibility of one nation alone, but a global duty. Literacy and understanding through books like this are expected to inspire all of us to take a more active role in seeking peaceful solution to ongoing conflicts and, of course, in fighting for justice for all of humanity. In conclusion, we at Mizan hope that this discussion will provide new insight for all of us and strengthen our solidarity with the Palestinian people. Itu saja dari saya ucapkan sekali lagi terima kasih kepada Masjid Salman ITB dan seluruh orang yang sudah terlibat dalam acara ini. Sekali lagi terima kasih Brother Atef for your presence here in Indonesia. That is all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, terima kasih banyak untuk Mbak Sari Mutia ya. Mohon maaf tadi ada kekeliruan dalam penyebutan nama dari penerbit Mizan. Jadi acara kita pada hari ini adalah kolaborasi antara YPM Masjid Salman ITB dan juga penerbit Mizan serta penerbit Naura dan juga Wakaf Salman ITB. Baik, untuk Bapak Ibu, Akang Teteh, kita persiapkan diri dalam sesi diskusi publik kita yang akan dimoderasi oleh rekan saya dari BMK Masjid Salman ITB yaitu Baihaqi Muhammad Syani. Kepada Saudara Baihaqi kami persilakan.
Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang rekan-rekan sekalian, Bapak Ibu, Akang Teteh, sekaligus tamu undangan kita yang berbahagia, Mr. Atef, Ustadz Atef Abu Saif, dan Ustadz Sansan Ziaul Haq, LCMA Hum, yang sudah berkesempatan hadir dan berkenan hadir di pagi hari ini. Untuk kegiatan yang sangat luar biasa, sebuah pembahasan mengenai buku yang beliau tuliskan mengenai Diary of Genocide. Tanpa berlama-lama, izinkan saya untuk dapat memanggil, call upon to the front, both of our guests today, Mr. Atef Abu Saif and Ustadz Sansan Ziaul Haq, to come and join me in the front of the podium. Have a big applause of both of them. And today, this morning, I'll be a mediate translator for both Mr. Sansan and Mr. Atef Abu Saif to follow you, to guide you guys throughout this discussion. Okay. And right now, I think, as you guys know, Mr. Atef Abu Saif is a main author of the book of Diary of Genocide, a book that tells every single things that happening until today, right now, in other place in the world, right now, Gaza, Palestine. And we hope that today we can go and get a deeper understanding about his work in this book. So, untuk itu kita bisa mulai diskusi ini dengan Mr. Sansan, Pak Sansan yang akan menjadi narasumber untuk berdiskusi secara utama dengan Mr. Atef. Dari saya insya Allah akan membantu untuk mentranslasikan apa yang beliau sampaikan. Oke, mungkin bisa diambil juga mic-nya. First of all, how are you today, Mr. Atef? You can grab the mic as well. Okay, thank you so much for joining us in the morning. Oke, silakan Pak Sansan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni 'ilma waftah li fahma. Marhaban bikum. Marhaban wa ahlan wa sahlan biqudumikum. Saya akan coba bicara dengan bahasa Arab dulu ya. Ana nafsi wa nahnu mungkin masruruna biqudumikum wa bihudurikum fi hadhihi sahah wa fi nafsi alwaqti mahzunun bima tu'anunahu min qatlin wa shardin wa tasfiyah irqiyah azimah jarimah اقترفتها إسرائيل ممكن أكبر جريمة في العالم بأسرها حتى أكبر وأبشع وأفحش مما يسمون أنفسهم بهولوكاust. Terima kasih kepada Ustadz Atef atas kedatangannya ke Indonesia untuk berbagi apa yang beliau rasakan, kemudian alami sendiri penderitaan di Gaza Palestina. Itu. Saya akan menanyakan beberapa pertanyaan terkait dengan buku Dari of Genocide dalam bahasa Indonesia, kemudian akan diterjemahkan oleh saudara Baihaqi ke dalam bahasa Inggris. Ana sa'as'aluka bil Indonesia thumma huwa yutarjimha ila al-Ingliziyah ila Indonesia. Ya Ustaz Atef, apakah Anda pernah berkunjung ke Indonesia sebelumnya? Apa kesan pertama Anda ketika kali menginjakkan kaki di Indonesia?
I want to ask you, have you ever been to Indonesia before, and what is your first impression of Indonesia, Mr. Saif?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for going in English. I speak in Arabic, good Arabic, so I can speak Arabic.
Oh,
No, but I'm going to speak English. I would like to thank first Salman Masjid and my publisher Mizan and Noura, all the people here. Thank you very much for organizing this event. You want to translate or?
you can finish it first. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is actually my second visit to Indonesia. The first one was to Bari. Yeah, like 3 years ago. It was an official meeting for ministers of culture and yeah, I think that a Palestinian's impression of Indonesia is something very positive because of the historic relation between Palestine and Indonesia and the Indonesian people and Palestine. Remember in North Gaza where I live, we have the Indonesian hospital. I think someone mentioned which is the main hospital in the area, which unfortunately the army in the last 2 weeks, the Israeli army destroyed it. And
Ya, ini merupakan kedua kalinya beliau tiba di Indonesia, di mana 3 tahun sebelumnya beliau pernah berkunjung ke Indonesia sebelumnya, yakni ke Pare di Kediri, dan tentunya beliau menyampaikan bahwa Indonesia dan Palestina memiliki hubungan yang sangat erat dalam hubungan bilateral dan juga berbagai hal, dan juga beliau mengenal adanya rumah sakit Indonesia di utara Gaza. Kira-kira seperti itu.
the impression is like any Palestinian have about Indonesia, a loving country, a supporting country, a sympathetic, country, solidarity country. It's like brotherhood.
Dan setiap orang Palestina juga menyadari dan juga mengakui bahwa orang-orang Indonesia merupakan orang yang sangat simpati dan juga mendukung perjuangan dan juga kemerdekaan dari rakyat Palestina tentunya.
The second one, Presiden Prabowo pada pengukuhannya, inaugurasinya sebagai Presiden RI ke-8 2 hari yang lalu menegaskan dukungannya kepada Palestina. Bagaimana tanggapan Anda tentang hal ini?
So during the inauguration of our 8th president, the new president of Indonesia, President Prabowo Subianto, yesterday and 2 days ago, he said and emphasized that Indonesia as a state support fully the democracy of Palestine. So what do you think about it? Or the freedom? Mm.
Of course, and this is not strange to be said in Tunisia since the first president. So how to remember?
We just continue supporting.
It's a continuous support, you know. Remember in this city, I think, founding, there was the first conference of the non-aligned movement in 1955. Yeah, the conference of, this was in 1955, no? The boundaries, yeah, then the non-aligned movement. So this is not strange because, of course, the Indonesia supports the Palestinian struggle for independence and freedom. And we expect this to continue as well in the future.
Bagi beliau, hal tersebut bukanlah suatu hal yang asing, karena beliau juga menyadari bahwa sedari Presiden pertama di Indonesia, Bapak Soekarno, telah mengakui dan juga mendukung kemerdekaan dan pembebasan rakyat Palestina. Sehingga itu bukan hal yang baru dan aneh bagi Presiden pada saat sekarang ini untuk juga ikut mendukung kemerdekaan Palestina.
Of course, our people need support and help the Islamic states because, you know, at the end, Al-Aqsa Mosque is not our own. It's all the Muslims, you know, and the holy shrines and places in Palestine belongs to all the Muslims in the world. And Indonesia is one of the main, of course, the main supporters of Palestinian people in many ways, politically speaking, and even supporting the institution like establishing the Indonesian hospital, and there is another one in Hebron as well. It's going to be established as well in Palestine and as well in the international organizations. Indonesia is one of the countries that support Palestinian diplomatic maneuvers or steps in the United Nations and other organizations.
Dan beliau juga mengetahui bahwa peran support Indonesia, dukungan Indonesia terhadap kemerdekaan Palestina melalui berbagai macam upaya, bukan hanya upaya secara fisik namun juga secara diplomasi yang tentunya melalui Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa yakni PBB dan juga banyak hal lainnya.
It's always very important that the Palestinian struggle has support from the international community and mainly, of course, the Islamic and the Arab community, and because again, this war which Israel launched against the Palestinian people is not against us; it's against the humanity in general. And for this, we say these are crimes against humanity, you know. And it's very important that important countries like Indonesia and other Islamic big countries support our struggle in the international community.
Dan hal yang penting yang terjadi pada saat sekarang ini adalah bahwa dukungan terhadap kemerdekaan rakyat Palestina tidak hanya terjadi di golongan ataupun berasal dari golongan ataupun kaum muslimin saja, namun dari berbagai pandangan dan juga pihak, yang menandakan bahwa yang terjadi di Palestina sekarang bukanlah persoalan Islamik, namun persoalan kemanusiaan, tragedi kemanusiaan, dan itu seharusnya dibela secara penuh oleh seluruh pihak dengan mengatasnamakan manusia.
Oke, terkait dengan buku, concerning your book, your diary book, Apa yang sebenarnya Anda lakukan pada tanggal 7 Oktober di jalur Gaza sehingga akhirnya terperangkap selama kurang lebih 3 bulan di medan perang yang tidak berimbang? Apa sebenarnya yang terjadi di jalur Gaza?
So I want to know about what is actually happening on the day of 7th October in Gaza, on your perspective, whether what is happening in Gaza and what were you actually you were doing at that day.
I was at that time Minister of Culture, so I was visiting Gaza. I come from Gaza. I was born in Gaza, lived all my life in Gaza, and my family is in Gaza. So I usually go to Gaza each 2 weeks to spend like 5 days. And so it was like a regular visit for me to Gaza.
Kira-kira saya ingin bertanya sebelumnya dari audiens, apakah cukup mengerti apa yang beliau sampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris atau sekiranya sudah cukup mengerti apa yang beliau sampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris? So the audience is quite understand what you're talking in English, but they need to. They already understand what you said in English, but you have to put the mic closer. I guess. So yeah. So they said they don't need me translating in bahasa anymore because they quite So they quite understand what you said in English. So you just need to speak it louder.
So I'm saying I was at that time Minister of Culture, so I was visiting Gaza regularly. I was born in Gaza and all my life is in Gaza, so I was doing a regular visit to Gaza. And people, they don't know that 7th October is the Palestine National Heritage Day. So at that time, we wanted to make the opening of the activities in this year, and that year, 2023, in Gaza. And I was supposed to start the ceremonies in what we Carrara Museum, where we have, it's a very important museum in east of Khan Yunis, and I was supposed to open the ceremonies there. So it was the Palestinian National Heritage Day at that day, 7th October. I was visiting Gaza, and I was supposed, it was Saturday, I was supposed to go at 10 o'clock to Khan Yunis, So I remembered, I didn't go to the beach for like 5 years. So I told my son, and my brother, let's go to swim in the beach. So after Al-Fajr, so we drove the car and we were swimming. Then at 6 o'clock in the morning, everything started, rockets and explosions. And the sky was very red, And of course, this is how it started. But at that time, nobody knew that, it was the resistance were going inside, attack Israel. We thought it's Israeli attacks, So we were running from the beach, outside the beach, running to the car, and everybody was running. And everybody was asking, what happens? Nobody knows. It's I think at 10 o'clock when we started to hear the news of the military operation of the resistance inside not Israeli, occupied, territories, I would say. So, and after that, of course, everything started, when Israel started to attack every place in Gaza, and the war broke out, and of course, nobody expected it to be a very long war. We were thought it's just, I remember my brother-in-law was swimming in the beach. I was telling him, come out, he said, no, this is a new escalation, don't worry. It's just another, he thought it's going like, just for a few minutes or a few hours even. So this turned to be one of the longest wars in the region.
And why were you busy writing in war? You could be hit by myself, for example, while you writing. What?
No, but this is what I am good in as a writer. I can write. But some people, they can shoot. Some people, the doctors, they can save the surgeries, the patients. I am good in writing. I'm a writer. I was a minister, it's true, of course, but at that time, And in the battle, you all tend to be, you know, fighters in different way. You're a journalist, you take photographs and you promote them, and the doctor, he's following the patients, and the writer, he writes. So it was like a mission. You know, it's like something I have to do. I thought that I might die in this war. You know, I had this feeling. Because many of my friends, my family died. 147 of my families died in the war, including my father, my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, my cousins, also my niece actually, and my aunt. She died 3 days ago. My aunt Khalti, the sister of my mother, and my niece. Anyway, so I you know, the first 2-3 days I didn't want to write diaries actually. Just, you know, I was thinking of this minute of 7 October, you know, and of the war breaking out while I'm swimming in the beach. You know, it's like, I'm a novelist. I wrote 10 novels in Arabic. So I thought, it's strange, you know, that someone swims in the beach and the war breaks out and a big event happens, you know. So I was writing, you know, the thoughts, the ideas. But then after 3 days, you know, I felt that I might die. I thought I'm going to die. Then I said, if I die, I want people to know that I live in this war. So I developed the idea into writing very, very detailed diaries. So I was writing about mainly myself and my family, my sisters, my son Yasser Arafat, who was with me. Then I didn't want to publish them. So I was just writing in the first 10 days. I didn't have, my laptop was broken at that time. So I was writing with my handwriting. And I was writing English and Arabic. I'm good in both.
Oh, both in English and Arabic?
Yeah, at the same time. And I was in the press house at that time, before they destroyed it later on. So, but after 10 days, I thought, you know, so I sent them by WhatsApp to my Arabic publisher, Al-Ahliya we call it. One of the largest Arab publishers. It's based in Amman, Jordan. And the English, I sent it to my English publisher in Manchester, Kuma Press. Then they took the text and they sent them to the press. Then after that, you know, I felt that I have to do it, continue doing this. Because writing becomes responsibility. You are responsible towards the people and the others to tell about them. That's how it starts. Okay, I can talk a lot about this, but later on, you know, the process of writing the diaries. But for me, I would say now, it was my intention that if I die, I want people to know that I was there. Anyway.
Okay, for the next question, Israel always make what Hamas did at 7 October as a justification for what they did. Do you agree with this?
First, in international law, the right of self-defense is exclusive to the people under occupation. It's not given to the occupying power. I'm professor of political science, I know this. I studied this. So the right of self-defense is limited to the people under occupation. So it's not given and it's not granted to the occupying power. Israel is an occupying power. So it doesn't have the right to self-defense in international law. Second, Israel doesn't need an excuse to attack the Palestinian people. It is attacking us since 100 years, when the colonial project started in Palestine.
So it's not.
So it's not, no. And we mistakenly we're wrong when we say this is a new war. We lived in one war since 1948 until now. And it never stopped, by the way. No single day it was stopped. So what was the situation in 6 October, the day before? Israel was closing the borders, killing Palestinians in Jenin, Nablus. And if you try to come to the border, they kill you. And the day before, 7th October, 6th October, they shoot a fisherman in Gaza. So it's not a new war. Israel doesn't need, remember, always we have to remember, it's not a new war. It's the same war which Israel and Zionists are launching against the Palestinian people since ever. So they don't need an excuse to kill the Palestinians.
It's like
It's
like logic of colonialism
yeah, no, but
to kill as many.
Israel is different colonial power. Even colonial powers before in history, they respect the mind of the people. Israel doesn't respect anyone in the world. Everyone in the world says to Netanyahu, stop the war, remember? Including the stupid Biden. But what he did, he went to another war. Because he doesn't care. Everybody was telling him, please stop this war. Let's just have a talk. Then he told the army, guys, let's go to Lebanon to destroy Beirut. Okay. So again, Israel doesn't need an excuse. But sometimes they try to make up foolish stories because they want their allies in Europe and America to tell them, bravo, you're good, you're good. You know, you have to kill them. So what happened in 7th October was not an excuse for Israel. The day before they killed the fisherman. And the day before that, the 5th of October, they killed 5 in Tulkarem. So then they don't need an excuse. And sometimes, many times I'm asking Europe, what about 7th October, what Hamas and the Palestinian resistance did? I said the question is not what happened on 7th October. The question should be what has been happening since 1948 until now. So this is a question. History didn't start here. History started in the time when Israel and the Zionist gangs tried to uproot the Palestinian people, to take us from our land and to kick us nowhere. My family comes from the Jaffa city. Well, my daughter is named Jaffa, actually. And we lived in this city since 100,000 years. We don't know the number. It's since history. So this is the true question. It's not what Israel is doing right now, massacres. And remember, in 1948, Israel committed 57 massacres against the Palestinian people, and in which villages were demolished to zero, like Dari, if anybody who hears of it. They were opening the bellies of the pregnant women at that time with knives. They were killing the Palestinians. And these are crimes against humanity. And nobody was accountable for. Because at that time there were no social media, nothing. So the people, they didn't hear of it. And now suddenly everything that comes up in Gaza and takes place, we hear of it. But for this, what Israel does now in North Gaza, they cut internet and mobile signals. And rarely in the last 1 week you hear anything from Jabalia, for example. Because they know that for this they killed 174 journalists in Gaza. And I said this in Germany 2-3 days ago. This is the highest number in history. So this means Israel was killing every 1 day and a half one journalist. In the Second World War, this doesn't happen. Every single day you kill every single day and a half, or like every 32nd hours, 36 hours, you kill one journalist because they want to hide the information about what happens, the massacres in Gaza. But they were always committing massacres since 1948 until now. So again, it's not an excuse. And Israel doesn't need an excuse, believe me. They believe that they have to kill always. They have to continue killing the Palestinian people. And look to their history. The history of the Israeli state is a history of wars. And every 4 years, 5 years, they have a war. And you can look from 1948 until 2024. Every 4 or 5 years they have a war. Remember, before this war, in 2021, they have a war in Gaza, right? It was for 11 days. Then before that,
So they are
2018. Before that, 2014. Before that, 26 in Lebanon. They have to make it systematic. It's very systematic. So they don't need an excuse to do war, you know. They live on war.
Do you agree with Israel's narration that they invade Gaza to demolish or to eliminate Hamas? Do you agree with?
Oh, of course, the war is not against Hamas. The war is against the Palestinian people. Okay, Hamas now is the address because it's controlling Gaza and it's in charge of resistance in Gaza. But it's not against Hamas. And again, Hamas is part of the Palestinian people, definitely. You know? And you cannot uproot it because it's part of the people as well. But the war is not against Hamas. The war if it's against Hamas, why do you destroy the libraries in Gaza, the mosques? Okay, the mosques because Hamas is Muslim. How about the church in Gaza? They destroyed it. Why? It has nothing to do with Hamas. And I was telling this in Europe, and this is the third oldest church in the world. The third, like, you know, it's not the third holy, like in Islam, Mecca and Medina. No, it's the third oldest church in the world. And you destroy it. Why? Why do you destroy the museums in Gaza? 9 museums were destroyed. Okay, why do you destroy the bookstore? 17 public libraries were destroyed in Gaza. Why do they destroy the archival city of Gaza? The what we call it, the building of the municipal archive of Gaza. Why? It has nothing to do with Hamas or any other party. These are buildings for. They destroy. They're not killing the people only. They're destroying. They're killing the city, the place, every building, But at the beginning, they started to kill everything. You know. So yeah.
Reading your book make me very angry. At the same time, I feel very, very sad. So what do you think, why drives, if Israel do something evil like that, why they doing this, all of this, why?
Again, Israel doesn't need a reason or justification, you know. Israel was made by the West to make this, you know. And believe me, some people in the West and in America are more fanatical than the Israeli army. And at the beginning, in 1948, they were supposed to kick us out of the country and to leave no single Palestinian. This was the plan. And they couldn't make it. Because Allah doesn't want this at the beginning. But then, because we steadfasted, we were supposed to vanish. You know, vanish? Like we disappear. And this was the plan. So the plan was to kill everyone, and this who they don't kill, they send him abroad. You know? So this was the main plan. So for this, if you look how America supports Israel, you think the Americans are more fundamentalist than the Israelis, more when it comes to us. And they send. Remember how they send the weapons every day? They send them weapons, kill them, but kill them slowly. You know, this what. So they're not against killing us. Don't make massacres so it's not in the news. Just do it quietly. Don't make noise when you kill them. So even if, you know, again, I was telling always the Europeans in this. Remember when Arafat did the peace deal with Israel? Oslo Accord. Yeah, he made a peace deal with Rabin. So when Arafat went to Gaza, Even 70% of the Palestinians were against the peace deal, but they will come to him with the flowers. When Rabin went to Tel Aviv, what they did with him? Anybody knows? They shoot him in Tel Aviv. They killed him. First, this is a people against peace. So when their prime minister made a peace deal, which was not fair, for me, which was not fair, and for 70% of the Palestinians, this deal was not fair. But nonetheless, because we're Muslims and Arabs, we like peace. In the Quran. So when Arafat came to Gaza, people will come to him with the flowers. But when Rabin went back to Tel Aviv, they shot him and he died. He was killed. So this tells you a lot about this mentality, and how they think.
I think Hamas represent nationalism, Palestinian nationalism. As Indonesia was colonized by the Dutch, and the Dutch always said that every resistance is a terrorist. Just like that. The logic of colonialism is like that.
If you fight your enemy, you're terrorist. But when enemy kills you, he's self-defending. So who's the terrorist, It's the one who kills his children. I told you about my aunt, 3 days ago.
3 days ago?
3 days ago, my aunt Fatima, and my sister is married to her son as well. The whole building, 4 floors, they went down them. And my sister Asma, it happened she was in the 4th floor, so she was injured. But her daughter, Sama, she's 8 years old. I know her. She was put in fire in front of her eyes. Who is the terrorist? So, of course, for this you can understand why Holland, why America, why Britain, why Germany, they support Israel. Because they're all colonial. They are all guilty. They are all guilty. France, Britain, Germany, Holland, America, because they all occupied countries before. So they don't want to. So, for example, if Holland supports Palestinians, how they can justify the crimes they made in Indonesia before? So for them, the best thing is to support Israel, because this makes them feel easy. We are all similar. We look like each other. So the best thing, the best way to delegitimize any resistance is to say they are terrorists, because this means they are inhuman. This means they are killers. So it's very hard for the international community, mainly the Western, to accept the Palestinian resistance. It's not if it's Fatah or Hamas or no. Any resistance against occupation is terrorist, because this means they are not legal. This means what we, the colonizer, do, are legal. So what Israel is doing is accepted, and what the Palestinians are doing is not. Even if you shout, you're not allowed to shout. Even to say no, you're not allowed to say no. Because no means you are against what they consider it to be illegal action. Even you're not allowed to express your opinion. You're not allowed even to speak. Remember when the President Abbas in Berlin, he talked about the Holocaust the Israelis doing. They were angry with the Germans. He told them why. What Israel is doing. So if you are against the Holocaust, you should be against all Holocausts that happens. You cannot be against. Of course, we as Arabs and Muslims and Palestinians, we're against what Hitler did. Because anything that's against innocent people is refused. These are crimes. But you have to be against all the crimes in all countries in the world. It's not you should not be selective. We are against any genocide that happens in any place in the world, including the one that is taking place in Gaza.
How many actually victims? Are the victims or the Palestinians have been killed? How many?
First, sorry. Official numbers, you know, in Islam, we don't consider someone dead unless we see his body. Corpse, huh? Al-Juthman. So officially we have 42,000 martyrs. Yeah, for the prayers, we stop or?
Just keep just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. So we have 42,000 martyrs. These are the people that were killed by the Israeli, and we have their bodies. But there are more than 20,000 missed.
20,000.
Like my aunt now. My aunt is not considered martyr so far because her body is still under the rubble. So, and when we get it from under the rubble, we add her to this. So when you hear 42,000, this doesn't mean this is the final number. There is, like my sister-in-law with her family, which is the sister of my wife, Huda, her and her husband and her son, they're still under the rubble. They're the mother of Hussam. But they're killed a year ago, but they're still not in the record. So the number 42,000 doesn't include everyone. It includes those who were taken from under the rubble and put to grave. So now that you're talking about 70,000 with these numbers together, this means 5% of the people of Gaza. This means if a city has 100 million population, this means 5 million. Right? This is the highest in history even. The Second World War, this was not the percentage. So this means 5% of the population of Gaza were killed. Now forget about the injured. You have 7% or 8% of the people of Gaza were injured as well. So this is the highest percent. For this is unprecedented moment of history. Because the killer is free to do whatever he wants, which is Israel. And nobody in the world can stop it.
According to your opinion, what should we do as Indonesian nation and Indonesian people to support in future or right now to support Palestinian people?
No,
The final question maybe.
Okay. No, but first, we have to stand that what happens humiliates humanity in general, because it's against the logic and the mind of any human being. And we should not stop our support to the Palestinians, even if we cannot change the situation. Because the victims, the people in Gaza, they need to know that we support them. And we are, at least what happens is not in our name as a human being. So we have, of course, in a country like Indonesia, the government and the people are with the Palestinian people. But in other countries, of course, lots of work has to be done to push the governments to stand to the obligations of the international law. So first, we have, as I said, to continue our support and our solidarity, and to spread information about what happens. Remember, Israel wants to cover everything. They want to hide the truth. So the more we talk about what happens, the more we share images and videos and information on our websites, because people abroad can see it as well. So we need to continue this. Second, of course, lots has to be done after the war, because there is no Gaza now. Even the hospital, the Indonesian hospital, the images you saw from Jabalia, it was they were taking the people from the Indonesian hospital out, and of course, they want to destroy as much as they can. So, of course, many effort has to be done after the war finished to remake Gaza and to rebuild it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Abu Saif.
Okay, thank you so much for the discussion. I think it is time for the audience to also give you question if they have. Jadi kalau misalnya dari Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan sekalian, akan Teteh jika ada pertanyaan boleh tanyakan, mangga dari akangnya.
Check. Okay, my name is Fauzan, and I'm gonna ask in Indonesian first, so the audience can understand. Saya membaca The 100 Years of War in Palestine by Rashid Khalidi, and di sana dia sebutkan bahwa kependudukan Israel dimulai tahun 1917 saat deklarasi Balfour, dan itu membuat Israel tuh bisa masuk ke dalam karena diizinkan oleh British. Dan sampai tahun saat ini kita menyaksikan bahwa institusi multilateral seperti UN, United Nations, gagal dalam mewujudkan perdamaian. Dalam contoh kasus mungkin saya bisa. Solusi PBB 242 pada tahun 1967 yang menyerukan penarikan Israel tapi masih gagal dilakukan. Lalu juga ekspansi pemukiman ilegal yang mana 700.000 orang tuh masih ada di tepian Jerusalem dan itu melanggar hukum internasional. Oleh karena itu, pertanyaan saya adalah, menurut Anda bagaimana, apakah two-state solution masih possible atau ada hal-hal lain yang bisa diwujudkan? So, in English question, so I read the 100 Years War on Palestine by Rashid Khalidi, and he talks about how Israel occupation began with the Balfour Declaration in back then 1917. It leads to settler colonialism, and global institutions like UN, United Nations, failed to stop this, and countries like the US still support Israel and many global powers. Do you think a two-state solution is still possible, or is there any better way forward? Thank you.
Actually, as Israel turned the two-state solution into a nightmare, into a failure, because practically it wouldn't work. It would not work. And because the international community failed, as you said, to force Israel to make peace with the Palestinians, regardless of what you think of this peace. Because it's not fair to have our state and 20%. West Bank and Gaza are 20% only of our homeland, Palestine. But even this, they want to share with us the 20%. So they want to take everything. They're like cancer. They get in the body, they want to take the whole body, So how this conflict can be solved? Either we continue fighting until God, makes a miracle, which will happen at the end, or there is the Palestinian and Israeli, they can live in peace. So the paradigm that the international community invented is the two-state solution, wherein the Palestinians have a state in West Bank and Gaza, and where Israel takes the rest of the country. But this doesn't work now, because now they made settlements and even when we made peace, when Arafat made peace, they killed Rabin, their prime minister. So what is the other option? To have a one-state solution, wherein Jewish can live with the Palestinians. We can live together. We don't have problem with this, because in our history, as Arabs and Muslims, we never had problem with this. Remember in Andalusia, the Muslim empire in Andalusia, the main minister was a Jewish, Yusuf bin Maimun. He was a Jewish, and he was deputy to the Caliph. We never had a problem with this. And in Salahuddin army, remember, Yusuf al-Awwam was a Christian. The leader of Salahuddin army in Palestine was a Christian. We Muslims, we never have a problem with this, because we are not against any religion. They have a problem with this. So we don't have a problem to have one-state solution. We're Christian, Muslim, because at the end this is a holy land. For you as Indonesian, Al-Aqsa is holy, and for the Christian in Japan, Bethlehem is holy as well. So same thing, we can understand that for Jewish it's holy as well. So we don't have so how we can solve this problem? Either you have two-state solutions, which Israel made into a nightmare and failure, and failure, or you have one state for all its inhabitants. But believe me, they don't accept this. Because they want war. They want to keep fighting with us. And the international community, unfortunately, is incapable to force peace on Israel. I mean to use it, to force peace. Because if you want to make peace, you have to enforce it. Because Israel will not accept it. And Israel doesn't give a shit, sorry for the word, for anyone. They don't care. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oke, mungkin satu lagi pertanyaan. Oh, oke. You have 3 questions. Oke, dari pihak tetehnya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir, for the knowledge about the Palestinian. Mostly, I saw about Palestinian, especially in Gaza, in social media like Instagram. And when I saw this, I felt angry. I felt frustrated, especially to myself, because I cannot help them enough, and I wonder, maybe it's like the feeling among, especially in Indonesia, how people like, how one person like me, like helping Palestinian family in Gaza, because for myself, I only help them by like donating or like speaking about Palestinian problems and people around me, and do you think that's enough for us? And it is normal feeling to us feeling like that, and I feel afraid that when I see something like that, it's like normalized, and I feel unsensitive, or like they're sensitive about these problems. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would say, it's very important to keep this feeling and to feel solidarity.